Welcome to 英会話 Live, where we study and use English while having a great time. The target of this show is to not only teach English that's great for conversation, but also give viewers the chance to use English in real time. First, we listen and repeat English questions that are great for conversation. Then, you have 4 minutes to write your answer to each question in the chat. Lastly, you have 4 minutes to write a new question in the chat by changing my question. We study and practice 3 questions in each show. Viewers who share an idea in one video in a month are 365 Language Planet Samurai. Viewers who share an idea in 5 videos in a month are 365 Language Planet Daimyo. Viewers who share an idea in 10 videos in a month are 365 Language Planet Shogun / Ohime-sama. We have 英会話 live shows every Thursday and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time. And Let's Speak English, Espanol, Nihongo live on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe and join the show. I look forward to studying and using languages with you soon. Good evening and welcome to 英会話 Live. This is Unit 24, Section E. Before we begin, let's look at this month's daimyo and samurai. So we have one new daimyo, Hiromi Okada, joining K.E. Takanona, Y.O. Charming, K Workshop, Take Agnor, and Kan Mama. Way to go. And we have 6 samurai, Takesh, Hong Konger, and Yamamoto, A Highbridge, Koguma Hikari, and Hiroti. Great job. All right, if you want to become a samurai, all you need to do is share an idea in the chat. So, let's begin. The first question of tonight's show is, have you made a new idea with English recently? So please listen and repeat. Have you made a new idea with English recently? One more time. Have you made a new idea with English recently? All right, so now please write your answer in the chat. You have 4 minutes. I'll start the timer now. Okay, so have you made a new idea with English recently? And I would say outside of this show, outside of 英会話 Live, have you made a new idea with English recently? Please let me know in the chat. Have you made a new idea with English recently? For me, I try to make new ideas with Spanish and sometimes German. I would say not always German, but I try to make new ideas with Spanish every day and sometimes German. But how about you? Have you made a new idea with English recently? For me, sometimes Japanese too. I try to make new ideas using Japanese. But how about you? Have you made a new idea with English recently? Outside of this show. I think many viewers who watch this show, they often make new ideas in the show, but outside of the show, have you made a new idea with English recently? Please let me know by writing your answer in the chat. Have you made a new idea with English recently? Please let me know by writing your answer in the chat. If you have, have you question, it's simple. You might say, yes, yes, I have, or yes, I do almost every day. Or, yeah, yes, like me in German or Japanese is just, sometimes I make new ideas. That's okay. Have you made a new idea with English recently? Maybe not. If not, that's okay. It's making a new idea is tough. Oh, KE says no, not. I should say KE. Thank you for joining tonight's show. I'm so happy to see you. No, not at all. I still have trouble thinking in English. I try, but I end up thinking in Japanese. No problem. Your English is great, so hey, no problem. What's it say? The first step is always to just relax and try to let the ideas come to you. But anyways, thank you very much for sharing your idea. Um, okay, Hiromi Okada, thank you for joining tonight's show. I got many suspicious phone calls, so I always responded with them saying, hello. They give up and finish their calls in 5 seconds. Laugh out loud. Nice idea. Yeah, that's a very smart technique. That's a good technique. I should use that technique too. Okay, great job, everyone. Well, let's move on to the next section. So this time, please. Oh, okay, K Workshop. Thank you for joining tonight's show. I made this idea. I became a cow last night. It means I was so angry last night. Interesting idea. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Okay, so now please write a new question in the chat by changing my question. I'll start the timer, so you have 4 minutes. All right, so you have 4 minutes to write a new question in the chat by changing my question. My question was, have you made a new idea with English recently? When you use have you, a really useful word is tried. Have you tried a new sake recently? Have you gone to, there's many different words you can use. Have you tried? Have you gone? Have you been to? Yeah, it's very, have you is very useful for English conversation. So please enjoy trying to write a new question in the chat by changing my question. I'm kind of hungry right now, so I think an interesting question might be, have you tried any new kinds of otsumami recently? I don't know. Maybe I have. I've tried some new salads recently that were very delicious that my wife made. But I don't know. I don't. It's kind of been a while since I tried a new otsumami. But anyways, how about you? Please try to make a new question in the chat by changing my question. Have you seen any new movies recently? That sounds like a good question. Have you seen any new movies? Have you gone to any new shops? All right, Hiromi Okada says, have you read some new book recently? Great question. No, if it's just, have you read some, some is okay. You can say that, like some, you have to add an S, like some new books. But instead of using some, I recommend using a. So like, have you read, yeah, that's nice. Nice correction. Have you read some new books recently? Okay. Or you could say, have you read a new book recently? Both are okay. Have you read some new books, or have you read a new book? Both are okay. So great job. Nice ideas. Anyone else? Maybe K Workshop. A good question for you might be, have you gone to any new drinking shops recently? YL says, oh, YL, thank you for joining tonight's show. Have you made a new idea with cooking recently? Great question. I've made one new idea recently. But yeah, I'll tell you. How about you, YO? KE says, have you met any interesting people recently? Great question. I've met a few interesting people recently. One of my coworkers was sick, and so I met a new teacher who helped me teach my class, and I meet interesting people from time to time. So, anyways, great idea, KE. Nice work. YO, talking about cooking. My favorite dish recently is tofu saba. In English, we say mackerel, and then mayonnaise, and then kimchi on top, or maybe tofu. I don't know. I forgot. I think it's kimchi on top. Okay, Takanona, thank you for joining tonight's show. Have you come up with any new ideas for what you want to do next year lately? Great question. Not so much. Not so much. Other than, I want to be the best study buddy in the world. That's my number one thing. But how about you, Takanona? You can let me know in the chat. And KE, How about you? Let me know in the chat whenever you have a time. Well, let's move on to the next question of tonight's show, which is, can you share your ideas in English with other people? So please listen and repeat. How can you share your ideas in English with other people? One more time. How can you share your ideas in English with other people? All right. So now, please write your answer in the chat. I'll start the timer, so you have 4 minutes. How can you share your ideas in English with other people? Please write your answers in the chat. I think for me, I think this is one of the most difficult questions because it's not very easy to share your ideas with other people. So let's think. Let's discuss. How can you share your ideas in English with other people? How can you share your ideas in English with other people? Please write your answer in the chat. I think, as I deeply believe it's very important to study and practice. After you study and practice, it's very important to make your own ideas. But after you make your own ideas, it's kind of like, what can you do? Um, and one of the things, hopefully, after you make your own ideas, a great thing to do is share your ideas. But how? How can you share your ideas in English with other people? Sometimes, you can tell, like for me, if someone asked me this question using, about Spanish, how can you share your ideas in Spanish with other people? For me, I would say, well, I can tell my wife. I can share my ideas with my wife. She's learning Spanish too, and so I can share my ideas with her. One thing. But how about you? How can you share your ideas in English with other people? It's a very important question. So let's think about it. All right, K Workshop says I can share my ideas by posting them to comment or a chat. Great idea. Yes. In this show, definitely, when we have a Kaiwa live show, yes. All right. Takanona says, I think it's important to have friends to talk to in English. That's good too. We have friends, family, and classmates. Oh, okay, Hiro Mikado says, that's too difficult for me, not only in English, but also in Japanese. Oh no. That's okay. All right, Kei says, being specific, in other words, saying your ideas clearly is very important. Yes, that's true. Nice idea. Now, I recommend, one great way to share your ideas in English is to send them to your study buddy, which is me, and you can send me your ideas in English or, Spanish, Italian. You can send me your ideas in any language. You can send to me, and I will send you my ideas too. It's just this is a fun way to enjoy using language. So I'll just say you can send them. Send your ideas to. Okay, this is one option. One thing you can do to enjoy sharing your ideas is to send them to me. My email address is 365englishstudy@gmail.com. And so that's one way that you can enjoy uh, sharing your ideas in English with other people. Okay, so let's move on. The next section of tonight's show. This time, okay, Charmin says it's a difficult question for me, but I speak to other people as I can possible. Nice idea, Charming. Thank you very much for joining tonight's show. All right, everyone. So now let's write a new question in the chat by changing my question. I'll start the timer. So you have 4 minutes to write a new question in the chat by changing my question. And I think, this is a great chance to practice using how can you something. But yeah, anything, as always, please enjoy using English, and you can change my question any way you want. Okay, Workshop says, how can you keep your room clean? I don't know, K Workshop. I would say, please tell me. I need to know. I don't know. How can you keep your room clean? I focus on the table. Like, how can I keep my living room table clean? Um, it's not easy, but one of the best ways to keep my living room table clean is I always tell my son, before you play a game, not to. Well, this is my advice. I always tell my son, before you play a game, you have to clean the table and clean the living room. After you clean the living room, you can play a game. I think for me, that's one of the best techniques. Um, yeah, it's kind of, if you set a very clear rule and make a clear system, like uh, you can do X after you finish Y. It makes it very easy. Makes it very simple and clear. It's a good system. Okay, Takanona says, how can you share with others what you want to do next year? Okay, great question. I would say, one of the best ways to share with others is to ask them first. Say, if you, I want to talk about what I want to do next year. Um, a great technique is to first ask them, hey, what do you want to do next year? And so, what do you want to do next year? And they might say, oh, I want to go to Spain. And you might say, wow, that sounds fun. And then you might say, for me, a good technique you can say, for me, I want to go to America. One technique. And of course, another option is you can always just, tell them directly, like, hey, I want to study English more next year. How about you? That's another good technique. So, both options are okay. You can ask a question, or you can use a sentence and a question. I always think, for me, one of the most important questions is, how can I get up in winter in the cold morning? Great question, Charmin. I have the same problem, but really for me, I can get up because my home is not so cold. But for me, my question is, how can I go outside to exercise in the morning when it's cold? I have a really hard time to go outside to exercise. Okay, KE, simple question. How can you keep fit? Is that a simple question? I don't know. I mean, it's a kind of simple English, but it's not a simple question to answer. Um, I'd say, for me, I think that one of the most important things to stay fit is do intermittent fasting. So, intermittent fasting is very simple. It's just basically, it means like, uh, don't eat all day. Don't eat all day. Uh, and gradually, just try to, have for me, just, have like 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. That's all I have. No snacks. And I think, that's one way to stay fit. That's very simple and easy. But great question, KE. How about you? And Charming, how about you? How can you get up in the winter, in the cold morning? And Takanono, if you have an idea, please share your idea about how you can share with others what you want to do. Okay, well, great job. We have one more question in tonight's show, so let's go to the next question. KE says, I work out at the gym every weekend. That's nice. Great technique. Good idea. Okay, well, the last question of tonight's show is, I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? So please listen and repeat. I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? One more time. I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? Okay, so please write your answer in the chat. I'll start the timer, so you have 4 minutes. Okay, so I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? So Google Translate is a very, actually this is right now, this image I have right now, I got from Google Translate. So I use Google Translate, and then I take a screenshot, and then I trim that image, and then I use it in the show. So it's a very useful app. for like showing English and Japanese. And so when I make a new idea in Japanese, I often write my idea in Japanese, and then I check the English translation. Charmin says, me too. I like to check with Google. Yeah, Google's great. Very useful. And I think, pretty easy. I think using Google is very easy, simple. You have an app, and you can use the homepage, website. Um, and I use it. I use it for Japanese. I use it for Spanish, German. Whenever you have a new idea, it's always good to write the new idea and then check the translation in English, or maybe in your case, maybe the translation in Japanese. And if you think, oh, that's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. It's useful. And then sometimes if it's what I want to say, and then I flip it, and so I can see Google Translate's idea, and I can see my idea. Okay, Workshop says, so do I. Google Translate is my favorite too to study English. It's very useful, it gives you lots of great ideas. It's not always perfect. And, sometimes, especially Japanese has many different translations for each sentence. And so I think, Japanese is one of the most difficult languages to translate. And so, uh, Takanona says, I like to check old Japanese with Google Translate. Sounds fun. Sounds very fun. If you're if you're joining the show for the first time, please don't hesitate to share your ideas in the chat. That's what this show is all about, giving people the chance to share their ideas and enjoy using English. Lyle says, me too. I've been using Google Translate to communicate with a friend / student in Italian. And so, yeah, one of my students is learning Italian. And so I sometimes I use Google Translate to learn a very, very simple language, simple sentences with, to teach, practice Italian. Okay, well, we got one more section, the last section of tonight's show. So this time, please write a new question in the chat by changing my question. You have 4 minutes. Okay, so please write a new question in the chat by changing my question. My question is, I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? Okay, Workshop says, I like to share my new ideas on the lesson. How about you? Great question. Now, you mean on the lesson or in the lessons? I'm guessing, I think maybe you mean I like to share my new ideas in the lesson or in the lessons, I guess. It's it's a kind of small change, small difference between on and in. If you want to, you could say in my lessons. I like to share my ideas in my lessons. That's okay. I know you always have lots of great ideas. So yeah, that's, I like to share my new ideas in my lessons. Okay. All right, people, let's enjoy using English. You can write a new question in the chat by changing my question and, you know, uh, enjoy it. You can change my question any way you want to change it. I think an interesting, like for me, I might, if I was writing a new question, I would say, I like to study in the morning between 9 to 10 a.m. and in the evening between 9 to 10 p.m. How about you? Okay, Charmin says, I like to see the night sky and look at lots of stars for a while. How about you? That's great. Sounds very nice, very wonderful. I like looking at the night sky and looking at lots of stars too. But this season, this time of year is very cold, and so not so much me. But yeah, great idea, Charming. If you're just joining tonight's show, right now you can enjoy using English by writing a new question in the chat by changing my question. My question was, I like to check my new ideas with Google Translate. How about you? Sake got my throat. Hmm. Okay, Kay says, I like to talk with people from different backgrounds. Me too. Me too. I love talking with people from different backgrounds as well. Miyakata says, I like to try new recipes with CookPad. How about you? Cook, uh, CookPad is a site for sharing ideas of cooking. Sounds fun. Takanona says, I like to check out the things I want to do next year on Google Chrome. How about you? Great idea. I don't know. I haven't done that yet, but I'll think about it. Okay, Workshop says, I like to sleep in the kotatsu. It's a black hole. Oh no. That sounds dangerous, that sounds dangerous, K Workshop. Please be careful not to catch on fire in your kotatsu. Charmin says, I always look at stars from my window in winter. That's great. That sounds awesome, to be able to enjoy the stars from inside your home, looking with a telescope. Great idea, Charming. All right. Well, that's the end of tonight's show. So thank you so much for studying and using English with me. We have this show every Thursday and Sunday at 8:30 Japan Standard Time. But actually, next Sunday is going to be the last show. Well, I would say it's going to be the last unit of section unit 24. Section F is going to be the last one on Sunday. So, but I will, please join on Sunday. On Sunday, we are going to do a kind of Christmas unit, Christmas episode. So please join on Sunday. And we have Let's Speak English, Espanol, Nihongo live on Tuesdays at 8:30 Japan Standard Time. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and give the show a big thumbs up. I hope everyone has a great night, and I will see you next time, which will be Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. So I look forward to seeing you then. So have a great night. Till next time. Bye!